It is September 11th, and unfortunately we do remember that for a bad reason, but once a year we play a tribute, and here you go from KROQ.
I think we're going to have to remember September 11th in its reality, because somehow I think it pushes the human consciousness toward finding ways to avoid this in the future. But if you censor it too much, if you try to find too many euphemisms for what happened, then I think you rob people of the ability to actually relive it and therefore motivate them to prevent it from happening in the future.
We're back at 8:30 on this Tuesday morning. It's the 11th day of September, the year 2001, and we've got a nice out on a beautiful early fall morning here in Manhattan. We hope the weather's pretty where you're waking up as well.
It was a beautiful
This is a special report. A major incident occurred here.
There has been a plane crash.
I just witnessed a plane hit directly in the middle of one of the World Trade Center towers.
The FBI is now investigating reports of a plane hijacking.
This gas goes from one side of the building practically all the way to the other. People are standing in the street in tears. People are panicking and calling their families.
We saw the plane hit the building. More and more fire and smoke enveloping the very top of the building.
Right then and there, I knew that this was going to be the worst day of my life as a firefighter.
People are jumping out the windows. Oh, my God! Oh, my God!
That looks like a second plane.
Oh, there's another one. Another plane just hit. Right? Oh, my God.
That's on purpose. Somebody is doing this on purpose.
It's a horrific scene here. There's debris flying through the air over the East River here into Brooklyn.
Today we've had a national tragedy. The number of casualties will be more than any of us can bear.
Oh my goodness. We're looking at a live picture from Washington, and there is smoke pouring out of the Pentagon. 110 stories, the top portion of which is collapsing. Good Lord.
Your traffic is being grounded across the United States. 18 minutes later, oh my God. Oh my God. That was the second tower of the World Trade Center collapsing before our eyes.
United Airlines Flight 93. It crashed in Somerset County, Pennsylvania.
It was a sad day.
Our beautiful nation came of age.
Look at this and you just say to yourself, why? There's no justification for this happening. None.
The images of the replay that never stops of the planes hitting, the towers coming down. And it was like, okay, enough TV.
It did happen, right? It's not something that I'm going to close my eyes and open them again and I'm going to see the tower, right? It's not there.
It's terribly sad here in New York City. It's terribly sad. Because we've never been through this before. We're told that they were zealots fueled by religious fervor. And if you live to be 1,000 years old, will that make any sense to you? Will that make any goddamn sense?
Families are handing out flyers to the media, hoping for some news on their relatives.
My brother works in the 91st floor, and he's unaccounted for at this time.
They should have been here already. The rig is not back. They're not back. They should have been back.
God and angels up above, send us home, the one we love.
He said, don't panic. My mom is just, I'm going to be okay. Not to worry about it.
She was on the 93rd floor of the 2nd Trade Center. She called everyone to tell everybody that she was okay. And so we haven't heard anything since then. So we just have to find her. We know we will.
pictures on the nightstand.
Called all the hospitals.
TV's on in the day.
Into the missing persons place.
Your house is waiting.
We haven't heard anything at all.
Your house is waiting.
We haven't heard anything at all.
For you to walk in.
Everyone's desperate for information.
For you to walk in. But you're missing.
You have to face the reality that he may not come back.
You're missing.
The head of our family is gone.
When I shut out the lights, you're missing.
I talked to him when he saw the plane coming.
When I close my eyes, you're missing.
I haven't heard from him since.
When I see the sunrise, you're missing.
Our lives will never be the same.
This nation is peaceful, but fierce when stirred to anger. Whether we bring our enemies to justice or bring justice to our enemies, Justice will be done. I have a message for our military. Be ready. The hour is coming when America will act, and you will make us proud. This nation is freedom's home and freedom's defender. And we owe so much to the men and women who step forward to protect those freedoms.
Oh, beautiful.
Brave men and women, indeed,
Heroes prove
operating there in what continues to be a very dangerous environment.
Liberating strife.
We're blessed with extraordinary men and women who risk their lives each day so that each of us can live in peace and freedom.
More than self. Yeah, country love.
They are clearly doing us proud in Afghanistan.
And mercy more than life.
An American flag flies outside the childhood home of John Joseph Edmonds in Cheyenne, Wyoming.
America.
A symbol of the patriotism his family still feels even after losing the 20-year-old Army specialist in the war against terrorism.
Make God thy gold refine.
And for that, all America is grateful.
America, he said, has sent the best of her young men around the world. Not to conquer, but to liberate. Not to terrorize, but to help. I'm also very thankful to you, the men and women who wear our uniform.
We carry the torch passed to you by hundreds of policemen and firefighters who raised our country's flag over the wreckage.
Not just for the peace of mind of our own citizens, but to free people in Afghanistan from one of the most wretched and despised and oppressive regimes anywhere in the world.
Thanks to you, many Afghan women are walking in public again and walking with dignity.
My mother wants me to go to school and become an educated person and get a job someday.
And I wish to work, and now I decided to work from 5 of morning until 10 of night because I stayed at home 5 years. I want to make it equal.
We're happy God is kind, says the old man busy carving fools again. The true God, they say, the one they have always worshipped.
It's a beautiful day.
There's a town in Montana by the name of Shoto, and Montana's been in the middle of a drought for 3 years. And if you got no rain, you can't grow anything. And if you can't grow anything, you can't farm. And that's the way life is in this small town. 1,600 people. Last night at the high school auditorium, they had a rally, and not just a rally for New York City, but a rally to raise money for New York City. And if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about the spirit of the United States, then I can't help you.
It's a beautiful day.
We see our national character in rescuers working past exhaustion, in long lines of blood donors, in thousands of citizens who have asked to work and serve in any way possible.
The more disaster to handle. Every generation's gone through it.
Even though this is a horrific tragedy, this is New York's finest hour.
To me, it shows the greatness of America that people who would be perceived as common people can perform such uncommon acts of valor.
Even after the towers fell, literally hundreds of firemen went right back in.
Their loved one had let 2 elevators go because he was older. The people in the elevator were younger.
Every day, total strangers were showing up with supplies.
Somebody said that if you could still use towels.
People who faced death and in their last moments called home to say, be brave, and I love you. Passengers who defied their murderers and prevented the murder of others on the ground. Rescuers, the ones whom death found, running up the stairs and into the fires to help others. Beloved priest died giving the last rites to a firefighter. The American Red Cross, the Salvation Army, and the United Way.
You never know all the heroes. The person who calmed someone and got them out of the building. The person who organized their floor so that everybody could evacuate.
Two office workers finding a disabled stranger carried her down 68 floors to safety. A group of men drove through the night from Dallas to Washington to bring skin grafts for burn victims. For those of us who lived through these events, the only marker we'll ever need at the tick of a clock, at the 46th minute of the 8 hour of the 11th day. We remember where we were and how we felt. We remember the dead and what we owe them. We will remember what we lost and what we found. Grief and tragedy and hatred are only for a time. Goodness, remembrance, and love have no end.